Welcome to Beyond the Beef. We not only talk about business problems, we talk about business solutions. So James.
Yes, Bob.
This one's to you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the beef that I have today was an individual that said they work with somebody who is there late. They work late hours. They always talk about how they're always there. You know, the cleaning people are coming to clean up, and they're still there. And they brag about it.
Yep.
But the problem is they're not getting a whole lot of work done. Right? So they're working these late hours, and this person's saying, you know, they work these whole late hours, but they're not getting a whole lot done. But meanwhile, they feel like it makes them look bad because they're working the standard 9 to 6 hours that they're supposed to be working.
Yep.
This person's staying late and bragging about it and trying to make sure everybody knows. So that was the beef that I had. Like, what do you do in that situation, right?
Yeah.
How do you, if you're in that person's role that's working those 9 to 6 hours, what do you do?
That's a good question. And I think, you know, let's get the facts straight on this one, right? The beef, it doesn't sound like, is the beef isn't the fact that that person's working more hours. The beef is the fact that person's putting it in their face all the time, right?
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I think that's the real problem, right? I've been in this situation. There have been times in my life where I have to kind of work more standard work hours. And there have been times in my life I can put 12, 14, however many hours I need into a job. And I've never really begrudged someone else who's putting in more time. I only begrudge that person when they're bragging about it all the time, right? Because by telling me how many hours they worked and how hard they work and everything else, what they're basically implying, or actually saying, is that I'm not working
that hard.
Or no one else is working as hard.
With the assumption that the longer they're there, the more work's getting done.
That's,
I think,
the bigger problem. So I think that the issue has to do with, okay, look, if you want to work all those hours, go ahead. Stop telling people about it. Because then you're not really doing it for the company. You're doing it for you, right? And I think that's the bigger problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, rather than kind of throw this back at you, you know, Britt is here, and we haven't heard from Britt in a couple episodes, our producer. And so, you know, you're of a different generation than me. I'm from the, you know, punch the clock kind of a generation. So, and I know you are more of the kind of flex hour and so forth. What do you think about this?
I'm a firm believer in flex hours.
Don't I know it? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I say so because with flex hours, I feel way more productive. I feel that my managers believe in me and trust me that I'm actually doing work, and I can have that good work-life balance that, you know, most people my generation and all humans really enjoy.
Yeah.
She brings up a good point. And the word I want to pick out a little bit on that is the trust aspect.
That's a very good point.
Right?
Yep.
You know, and I think you would agree that if you trust somebody, you trust an employee, you trust whatever, you trust people that you work with or that work for you, then you could allow for that flexibility to be there because you know the work is going to get done. If we rewind and really say, what is the issue here? What's up with the hours and everything? It's really about getting the work done.
Yes.
Right? And if your job is X, Y, and Z, are you getting that work done? And yes, I also believe that you need to be there for some hours too, because if your job is getting certain tasks done, yes, but then maybe there's the creative time or there's other things you can be proactive to get extra work done. You know, so I don't necessarily think you get it all done in 3 hours, you should leave and work a 3-hour workday. Yeah. But that flexibility is an important piece, but it has to be rooted in that framework of trust. Trust and knowing that that person's going to get that.
And I'll speak from a manager's standpoint, which is, you know, the way I'm going to trust somebody is if I know they're committed. Yeah. You know, if it's all about them and give me, and it doesn't matter what I do for the company, then guess what? You know, I'm not going to trust you as much as if you're committed to the company, you're committed to what it is we're trying to do. And I think that allows me to feel better about giving more flexibility because I know that you're committed to this. When you act like a 9-to-5 employee, right, but want to be treated like something different, then, you know, it doesn't necessarily jive.
You're just checking a box and you don't have that passion. You're not the reciprocity of saying, yeah, this is good for me, but how am I also helping the business?
Exactly.
And thinking that way. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I agree.
So I think, you know, there's a lot of facets to this thing.
No doubt about it.
And so to give one solution is going to be difficult, but if I was going to try and sum this up, I would say, look, for the person who is, you know, bothered by somebody else bragging about how many hours they're working and everything else. And I think there's an easy solution. It may be a little combative, but say, hey, well, exactly what did you do?
What did you do? Right.
And then maybe talk a little about what you did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
That'll shut them down pretty quick. But then, I think another thing, and this is for the managers of teams, because it is a complex situation now. I'll speak from personal, experience there. It's complex to manage in this. And some people expect the punching the clock mentality, and some people want the flex hours and so forth. But as a manager, you have to set clear expectations. Look, even if it's not popular, but you feel that people need to be there from 9 to 6, tell people that's where they need to be there and that's it. But then realize that you might not get their time outside of that.
Right.
On the other hand, if you have flex hours and you are okay with that, then set those as the clear expectation so that people aren't going to be bragging about how many hours they work and think they're going to get rewarded for that, right? And I think as managers, we can do a better job of that. And then to your point, making sure that you're managing to tasks, right?
Agreed.
Managing to, and tasks are probably not even the right word, but goals.
Okay,
get the work done.
Right.
And I think if all those things come together, this issue goes away. Unfortunately, I don't see it coming together in a whole lot of situations right now, but maybe, people can be helped by some of this.
Yeah, I think so. And I think it just makes sense, right? I mean, we've both been part of this.
Yep.
When you're seeing all of the aspects of people that want flex hours, people that are working late, we've all been part of corporate or small business. And again, I can't help but think that it's that trust piece of you expect and that people are going to get things done.
Yep.
That flexibility is going to be more able to be given.
Totally agree. Yeah. Totally agree. So I think that's great. Good way to wrap it up.
No doubt.
I would ask Britt's final opinion on this, but she's left for the day. So. But I think it's a good way to wrap up this episode.
Absolutely.
Britt, thank you for your comments. And as always, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have anything you want us to talk about in future episodes, leave it in the comments. Until next time, we'll see you on
Beyond the Beef.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Like a Planet of the Apes character, like that.
Yeah, all of them.
Who was that guy who played that Planet of the Apes character?
I don't know. The original Planet of the Apes?
No, the one that Tim Burton redid.
Tim Burton redid Planet of the Apes?
Yeah. Yeah. It's good.